"But Hoppy," said Howie, the thoughtful and considerate, even when his own life was in danger, dachshund. "You could be hurt. You could even be transformed into a toaster oven," bellowed the evil force whose name cannot be spoke. There was a blinding flash of light, a deafening roar of thunder, a suffocating puff of smoke. Fortunately, Howie was spared the slideshow this time, and Hoppy was turned into a toaster oven. Okay, seriously, what the heck? "How could you?" Howie cried out in alarm to the evil force whose name cannot be spoke. "A toaster oven? You could have turned him into a microwave at least. Is that what you'd like to be? Fine, get ready to bake potatoes in just 10 minutes. There was a blinding flash of light, a deafening... you get the picture. Howie squeezed his eyes shut, ready to spend the rest of his life as a kitchen appliance. And then it hit him. Not the spell that would turn him into a microwave, but the single word that would break the evil force whose name cannot be spoke of his magic. "No!" Howie cried out. "Don't do it! Herbert!" Light filled the doghouse of doom as the evil force whose name could not be spoke, hearing his true name, screamed a near-splitting scream. Howie watched in horror as the giant shape on the pod in the center of the lake of lost illusions twisted and turned, finally exploding into a shower of sparks. Howie was forced to close his eyes. When he opened them again, he couldn't believe what he saw. There, sitting on the pod thing, was a kitten. "Why, you're nothing but a pussycat," said Howie. "Yes," said the evil force whose name used to be able to not be spoken. "I was once a little pussycat who only wanted love and the occasional saucer of warm milk. But I was left by the side of the road to fend for myself, and I turned mean and rotten. So mean and rotten that I picked on others. Your parents didn't understand. They called me a bully. Okay, I was a bully, I admit it, but it was only because I was afraid of being the one who got picked on first." Wow, Howie thought. This is even better than watching Oprah. Words appeared over Herbert's head. They were written in red smoke. Or was it ketchup? "Thank you." "Gosh," said Howie modestly and graciously. "You're welcome." "You have given me back my innocence," said Herbert the kitten. "You have given me hope for a new and better life. You have given me—" "Whatever," said Howie, suddenly remembering Hoppy the toaster oven. "What about my friend? What are you going to do for him?" "I don't have to do anything," said Herbert. "You've already done that. Look, there in the water." "Where are you, Hoppy?" Howie called out. A tiny voice answered. "Here Hoppy is, sir. Hoppy is happy, sir. Hoppy is where Hoppy always wanted to be, sir." Howie looked into the water. A happy tadpole was swimming laps. "Goodbye, Hoppy," Howie said. "Goodbye, sir," said Hoppy. "Hoppy will always remember you." "Howie will always remember Hoppy, too," said Howie, sniffing back a tear or two. "Well," Howie thought as he watched Hoppy swim happily away, "I guess I'd better paddle out to the pod and rescue Herbert." "I heard that," said the kitten. When Howie emerged from the doghouse of doom with Herbert the kitten at his side, everyone cheered. Everyone, that is, but Bako, Grab, and Run, who threw their sign on the ground and stomped on it. Professor Sneak didn't look too pleased either. Howie decided there was something up about Sneak that would deserve greater attention in another book. In the meanwhile, he was exhausted. Snivel, Delilah, and several other students carried him on their shoulders to the hospital house, where he spent the next few days sleeping and reading back issues of Canine Quarterly. Hamlet visited him regularly and chatted up a storm, sometimes leaving apostrophes lying around on the floor, which had to be swept up after him. Delilah brought up homework assignments from their classes and told him how brave and daring, not to mention courageous, she thought he was. She also asked how his bursitis was doing. When she did, she fluttered her eyelashes and made Howie's heart go pit-a-pat. Snivel brought him a box of doggy treats his mother had baked just for the famous, heroic, kind, and wizardly Howie Monroe in the shape of frogs. A nice touch, Howie thought, given how much he missed his friend Hoppy. Herbert sometimes dropped by to curl up next to him in the bed and purr. Over time, Herbert lost his ability to read thoughts, which was a relief to Howie, who had grown tired of hearing Herbert say, "That's what you think." All in all, Howie was feeling pretty darn good about himself and how he'd handled his first week at the Dogwiz Academy for Canine Conjurers. The fact that he hadn't actually conjured anything yet, except for a quarter, but anybody could do that, didn't worry him. His full powers would come to him in time. He was looking forward to his years at Dogwiz, although not as much as he was looking forward to his next meal in the chamber at Chow. A dinner was being planned in his honor, and he could hardly wait. Back in his own room for the first time in days, he was getting ready to go down to the dinner when a note was slipped under his door. Herbert batted it to him. It was written in letters that had been cut from what appeared to be issues of Preteen Conjurer. It read, "Just you wait, Monroe. You're not safe yet." "This is terrible!" Howie exclaimed. "No, it's not," said Herbert. "It will give you material for the sequel." You're right, Herbert," said Howie. "Thank you." "It's nothing," said Herbert modestly. As the two friends went off to join Delilah and Snivel on their way to the chamber of Chow, Howie was already thinking about his next adventure at the Dogwiz Academy for Canine Conjurers, titled Howie Monroe and the Enchanted Chewbone. Delilah read my story and said, "You call that writing? You stole your idea from that book you told me that Toby's been reading to you." I think she's just sore because she has such a small part in the story. I asked Uncle Harold what he thought. "Oh, that's why it all seems so familiar," he said. "I don't know, Howie. You might want to be sure it's okay with your editor to—" "Steal?" I said. "Ask your editor," he told me. Oh, great. Now I'm a thief. Dear Editor, here's the manuscript of my latest book. I hope you like it and don't think that I'm stealing. If you don't like it, or if you do think that I'm stealing, please don't tell me, because it will mean you won't publish my book and then I will have to go back to not being famous. Sincerely yours, Howie Monroe. Dear Howie Monroe, I love your new book and can't wait to publish it. It is a terrific parody. Yours truly, the Editor. Parody. Noun. Writing in which the language and style of an author or work is imitated for comic effect. Comic effect? This is a serious work of fiction. Can't believe my editor would call it a parody. I asked Uncle Harold if I should let the editor publish my book if he doesn't even recognize it for what it is. Do you want to go back to not being famous? Uncle Harold asked me. Good point. Another way to look at it, he went on, is that you were inspired by someone else's writing to create something original. Maybe your readers will be inspired by you. Wow, that would be cool. Hey, maybe my readers will write Howie Monroe and the Enchanted Chewbone. Then I wouldn't have to. Not that I don't want to, but I don't know. I might want to try something really different next time. Meanwhile, I think it's time for me to take a nap. I've been up for more than 2 hours, almost 3, and I'm beat. This writing is hard work.